Okay, welcome back to One Piece Anime Re-Review, episode 120. We review episodes of the Wano. We're basically wrapping up part 13 of the Wano release for the English stuff for One Piece. Episodes 1041 to 1048. Here's what happens over the course of these episodes. Now, these episodes do cover from chapters, I think it was like 1018 to 1024. Yeah, roughly almost 6 chapters in just 8 episodes. That's because they kept splitting stuff up and adding some original content. So, in the case of, well, let's start briefly with Dogstorm. He is having a tough time fighting Jack in man-based form. It lasts like one scene throughout these 8 episodes. One scene. And that's it. Okay. Fine. Alright, what about Big Mom versus Law and Captain Kidd and not much progression on that one per se. It's like they just started that one. But they haven't gotten much further with that one yet. Yamato, of course, managed to get to the rooftop and start fighting her father. There's even a flashback of her when she was a child, where she basically, because she was going on a rampage, her father threw her into a cave and put her in the cave with 3 samurai. One of whom happens to be Zoro's great uncle, as revealed by, this actually was a fact revealed by Oda himself. Yep, and he is voiced because I had predicted this during my reviews when I reviewed this episode originally, episode 1040 this happened, that I would not be surprised if they have Christopher Sabat voice him in the English dub. And I was correct. He did do that. Yep. They also introduced 2 other samurai here. One is named Uzuki Tempara, and he's voiced by Jim Johnson. And the other is Fukitotsu Omasabi. Yeah. Now, this guy was a daimyo of the Kibe region. Usuka was daimyo of the Udon, where the prison is. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, the guy who was... What's his name here? Here he is. Shimizu Osamura. This guy was a daimyo of Ringo. He was the last daimyo of Ringo, which is, the place is abandoned now, currently present day. Younger brother of Shimoshi Fugo, who is, well, Zoro's grandmother, who was mentioned, as part of Zoro's family tree. And that's another reason why he looks like him, is because his great uncle. Yeah. So they put in the cave. They, of course, found out that the Yamato has Odin's child book, which they detail this very good drawing of Odin's travels. Basically a brief snippet of the flashback we already saw. And then the three daimyos decide to escape, and Yamato stays in the island to basically fill a role in present day. Okay. In the case of Nami and Usopp with Otama, they proceed to flee from the forest floor while chased by the pirates because they want to kill Tama for, turning the gifters against them. So they ride on speed. Usopp gets knocked up and rides the alligator. He has a little claim, I took out 2 of the top rope pirates. I would say that's true with one of them, but not both of them. What you can see he kind of took out with it was Uti. Yes. So he's partially telling the truth here, but not fully lying, because he's a notorious liar. And that's all they do. In the case of Zoro, he finally gets out of the bandages he's been in for the past, 20 or so episodes, and he gets the drug, and gets his power boost, gets his swords back, and he proceeds to begin his fight with King. And Sanji fights Queen, which of course Queen proceeds to call him Judge's son. It is very brief. In the case of Luffy, well, after he is resuscitated, he is demanding meat. And he pretty much went through all the meat on the high-powered ship. And they go to the shore like, oh crap, we need to find the town, find some more food. Lucky enough, Caribou comes along with a whole bunch of food. Where he got this, I'm presuming he got from that food wagon from like during the first act of this thing. Luffy eats it and proceeds to, well, get strength back. Momonosuke gets aged up from 8 to 28. We don't see what his human form looks like. It is assumed that he looks like Odin. But he gets bigger and he tries to fly up, but he's scared. But in the case of what happens with Robin, well, first let's talk about Frankie. He takes on Sasuke. Well, Sasuke loses gifters. They try to help out, but, well, Frankie's like, just move out of the way. And he's beaten by one weakness, the guy's belly. And there's this weird thing where his part of his thing is a Triceratops. It spins like a propeller, like an airplane. It spins the wrong way, so it didn't do anything. So, of course, Frankie defeats him with the suplex. Well, pretty much he calls a John Frankie suplex, aka a German suplex, and his radical beam beating the guy. And he's done. But in the case of what goes on with Robin and Brooke versus Black Mara and her people, well, Black Mara unleashes this illusion mist, where she sees basically, in her illusion, she sees her late mother, Nico Olivia, Saul, and Professor Clover. And there's flashbacks to, well, what was shown during Annie's Lobby, one of the most popular arcs of the series. And then, of course, you bring out reason because of stuff that Saul says, like, yeah, that's not what Saul would ever say at all. And proceed to cause one of, well, Black Maria's illusion to basically, well, bleed. In the case of Brooke, what did he see? He saw his old crew until his captain tried to murder him. And then, of course, you have Robin taking on Black Maria, which has a different, and of course, then Black Maria proceeds to pin her down with her spiral legs, take out Brass Knuckles, yes, Brass Knuckles, and proceed to beat the crap out of Robin. And in the case of Brooke, he's like fighting her subordinates, and then he's like, oh, we should excuse ourselves. Then he proceeds to put up an ice wall. And that's because basically, well, then Robin fights back, and it's like, oh, I thought you were gonna break me, and then Robin transforms into her demon form, Demon Vioor, which makes it into a gigantic demon, a giant naked female demon with dark red skin, with teeth, all that stuff. Pulled out of Fantasia. I did ask Stephanie Young what she'd think of this particular form when I saw her in Orlando this year. She was shocked to see this damn thing. And then, what does the demon form of Nick Robin do? It's like, oh, I thought you said you did arms or legs. So then she proceeds to break Black Maria's back by basically just almost like squeezing her. And I'm kind of like, I guess for some people at this particular moment, I'm surprised that the animators did not take inspiration from Bane with this moment by having her using her knee to break her back over her knee. And Black Maria is done. Yeah, she has not come back after this. After she's basically broken like this, she does not return. Does not return to cover story like Who's Who does. Yeah, she is done. Sasuke is done too, and with Sasuke and Black Maria defeated, the top of our opponents have all been defeated. The only ones that come back after this have been Who's Who, OT, and Page 1. The OT and Page 1 proceed to come back and become Yamato's subordinates after basically, well, as a thank you for saving him, Yamato wasn't really there to save them. She was there to save basically some waitresses. Yep. And we're not done just yet. You're thinking, okay, so is that pretty much everything that happens? Well, Chopper, of course, well, he's out of the fight. He doesn't do much anything afterward. He's just in this old man baby form for a little while before it goes back to normal size. Oh, there is one other thing. Cat Viper proceeds. Oh, by the way, in the case of, almost forgot to mention Dogstorm, he does get a light hope when there's a hole in the ceiling, and he becomes Sulon again to take on Jack. And while Cat Viper proceeds to go Sulon and take on Parasparrow as payback for what happened with Pedro. And that's it. That's all that happens over the course of 8 episodes. So you're like, wow, we get the remainder of the top R pirates pretty much defeated, like the last 2. Continuation of one fight, Bailey progression, another fight, and well, overall these episodes are still really good. Now, overall, how many more dub episodes I have left to watch before I officially caught up with this thing? Well, the last one that released was episode 1133, which means I have, well, since 1048 was the most recent episode, let's see. When I had watched 1043, I was already at 90 episodes left to go. And I'm trying to think here. Let's see. I think that's 6. No, it's 5. Yeah, 5. So I have currently 85 episodes left to go. I'll probably continue to watch this during a recap when I get a chance to do, because I'm going to watch Dynamite after my next review. So, there's that. But, overall, really good. Yep. I may eventually catch up with it, but as soon as I'm basically working on all my anime. Well, the plan is to work on Dynamite and maybe like 2 others, and then start up Trap and Dating Sim. Watch the first 2 episodes of that, and then go back to my remaining anime, which I probably have about 2 left at that point. And I'll go through those 2 and then go through the rest of Trap and Dating Sim. Yep. So yeah. So next up, the Rising Hero. So please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Okay, so bye.